We just saw Birdman, and on this show I take my friends and we go see a movie, we review it in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part is spoiler-free, so if you're on the fence trying to decide whether to see the movie or not, you can watch that part without getting spoiled. If you have already seen the movie, or don't care to and just want to know everything we think and don't care about finding out more about the plot, watch the whole video, because we get into a discussion at the end. So, Birdman is technically incredibly impressive. In fact, it's almost overwhelming on the technical side. The cinematographer is the same as the one that did Gravity, that won the Academy Award for Gravity last year. And the whole movie feels like it's one shot. They make it seem like it's one take, which they don't actually do that. There's like some tricks that they use and things like that. But there are a lot of really, really long takes, like, 10 or 15 pages of script go by. And doing that and having it be a show, having the movie be about theater, it makes it feel more like theater, because you're watching people try to actually make a scene work for much longer than you would in a movie. It's not single camera, where they're, shooting back and forth between two people in a conversation. Sometimes you're just looking at one person while a conversation's going on. And so the amount of concentration, you can tell, like, the actors are really putting a lot into it. They're putting a lot of work into it. The story is good and the script is good. You kind of see, like, this weird performance from Michael Keaton where, like, he becomes a better actor in the movie as it goes, but he also becomes a little bit more insane as the movie goes along. And it's a really just interesting performance overall. Edward Norton's really good in it, but I mean, not that was unexpected or anything. He does a great job doing what he's doing. I thought Emma Stone stole the show. I thought she was fantastic. She doesn't have a whole lot of scenes, but she really lights it up when she's there. There's a couple of scenes of hers that I really, really liked. Beyond that, I mean, it's an art house film, yeah. I mean, it's not, but it kind of makes statements about that. Like, it kind of makes what, you wanted a stupid action movie? Here's what a stupid action movie would look like. That's kind of the feel of it, and the way they do the effects and things like that. Which, you see those in the trailer. That is very, very little of the movie. That's like a tangent that they go on in one part of the movie. So it's mostly watching really good performances and being engrossed in the story and just kind of riding the camera, because that technical ability of making it seem like there's just a camera floating around, or sometimes you're in someone's perspective, or you're walking down a hallway. You can't look away. So I highly recommend it. It's definitely one that I would check out, even if I wasn't reviewing every movie that came out. I really dug it. So, what'd you guys think?
You can go.
Okay.
To collect my thoughts.
I really enjoyed it. I thought
as I have.
A lot of what I'm going to say is going to echo what Dale said, but every single actor in the movie, I consider myself to be a pretty big fan of. So I have a bit of a bias. I love seeing Michael Keaton in movies. Going back to Johnny Dangerously and Batman and Live from Baghdad and other stuff that I've seen him in. And every time I see Michael Keaton in a movie, I wish he was in more movies. Zach Galifianakis did a great job of not stealing the show, like being a really good, just kind of sideman for the whole thing.
Yeah. And
he's funny-ish in the movie, but he's not like what you're used to seeing him. He's not doing what you're used to seeing him do. He's a straight character. Mm-hmm. And he does that very well. Emma Stone, like Dale said, is incredible. Naomi Watts, I always think is awesome in every movie I've ever seen her in. So it's just like, it's kind of a dream cast. It's like, I would have been really surprised if there was anything I didn't really like about it. But I also thought that the like steady shot, or like the effect of the camera's just on a dolly that goes through the whole picture, where there's no like apparent cuts or anything like that. I thought that was really great because it made it seem like this perfect meshing of a play and a movie. Because most of the movie kind of takes place around the idea of this Hollywood actor turning into a stage actor, and like you get a lot of soliloquy and you got a little of his own like internal dialogue about doing that. And it's all very brilliantly done, and uniquely done, and in a way that I think really served the story. So I really highly recommend it. I thought it was great.
So I enjoyed it, but I think my caveat would be that it is one of those movies that takes some effort to watch. Like, to really get the full... Like, I don't feel like I probably did it justice, if that makes sense. Like, I watched it and I enjoyed it, but I think there's a lot more layers to it that like a second or even third watching would.
Oh, sure.
You know, and so.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, there's definitely more depth to it than that.
I might not have mentioned Ed Norton though either, and I thought he was awesome too. So,
Yeah.
He always.
Yeah, and the only other thing, I mean, before we get into the discussion side, the spoiler side, that I did want to mention is the soundtrack is completely comprised of a guy playing a drum set.
Yeah, I'd heard about that beforehand.
And that wasn't something I was really expecting. And at first, it really just annoyed the hell out of me, like that it was just like this guy messing around with drums. Because at the beginning of the movie, like as the movie's fading in, you hear him like tuning up a timbale or something. And like he's just messing around. It's just like a guy messing around on the drums. But it has this effect where it makes the movie feel more tense and more out of control. Like he's not playing a beat. He's just going bananas on the drums.
Jazz drumming.
And then every once in a while they'll show him. Like he'll be like out on the street somewhere.
Yeah.
Or he'll just be in a room in the theater and
he's just in the background.
No one acknowledges him.
Yeah, hanging out.
So yeah. Anyway, highly recommend it. Check it out. Don't let us spoil anything for you, which is what we're about to do right now. So they telegraphed a little bit that there was going to be sort of a suicide angle to things. When he made the speech about how he walked out into the ocean and he was trying to drown himself, and then like immediately picked up the gun that we see him actually load.
Right.
You know, he cocks it and loads it. I'm glad that he didn't die, and I'm also like not sure. I'm assuming that the ending is open to interpretation, like the very final ending is open to interpretation. But I think it's I think it's something where like we're not really seeing. I mean, obviously he's not really flying. It's more like she's accepted him or she sees in him what he wants her to see kind of thing at the end. Because that expression that she has at the end, that is in the trailer. So it was really weird to like have that be the end of the movie. Like I've already seen the end of the movie and that was it. And and I knew what she was looking at when I saw the trailer. Like I knew that it was him flying around. So it's really strange like that they cut that into the trailer like that. But maybe it was just so that, I mean, it's a good shot, and it maybe just, you know, counterbalance the other thing that they showed of Emma Stone, which was part of that really awesome speech that she gives that's like all fish-eyed and the camera's like right in her face. Yeah.
There were some great speeches in the movie. And I also thought, what I didn't expect from the trailer was that I thought that, like, there was going to be some sort of, like, other Birdman movie that they were going to make, and that the play was going to fail, and that he was going to, like, resort to being, you know,
back to doing
Birdman 3 or Birdman 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And what it seemed to realized to me, especially by the ending, was that he is, as much as like a human being can be, like a hero to certain people in this movie, like to his daughter and to Zach Galifianakis' character and stuff like that, and that you get the idea that even with himself, like the kind of soliloquies that he has with himself, he's a hero, but he's his own worst enemy, and that's who he's constantly battling with. So it was a really cool, unique, and somewhat realistic take on a superhero movie, using actors instead of like, you know, mutants or whatever kind of superhuman characters. So I thought that was an incredibly original take on it, and I appreciated that a lot. And the drumming again too, like for the score, I thought was actually really brilliant and original as well.
Yeah, and I mean, in the story, obviously they do some meta things with the actors that are on stage. You know, that they're playing around a bit with the fact that Michael Keaton played Batman. They're playing around a bit with Edward Norton's reputation as a pain in the ass, and you know, someone that takes things too seriously, or whatever you want to call it. Like he was kind of playing himself to a degree, or at least playing like his, like the worst version of himself, kind of thing. But also, like, at the same time, it was like, he's such a good actor that you can't fire him. Like, as much of a pain in the ass as he is, like, he gets the job done and he's awesome, and then, you know, you just have to live through it, kind of thing. So that's kind of fun to see those little bits here and there. But anyway, that is our review of Birdman. We're obviously digesting it still. If you like the way we do reviews, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
Bye.